Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamti Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamam Shloke Bhagavati Naistaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 17, Mother Parvati curses Chitraketu, text number 21 onwards. So Maharaj Chitraketu, after being cursed, he got down from his plane and then he is speaking to Mother Parvati right now. Eka srijati bhutani bhagwan atma mayaya esham bandham cha moksham cha sukham dukkham cha nishkala. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, unaffected by the conditions of the material world. He creates all the conditioned souls by his own personal potency. Because of being contaminated by the material energy, the living entity is put into ignorance and thus into different conditions. Sometimes by knowledge, the living entity is given liberation. In Sattva-guna and Raja-guna, he is subjected to happiness and distress. The question may be raised, why the living entities are situated in different conditions and who has arranged this? The answer is that it has been done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead without anyone's help. The Lord has his own energies, parasya shaktir vivideh shruyate. And one of them, namely the external energy, creates the material world and the varieties of happiness and distress for the conditioned souls under the supervision of the Lord. The material world consists of three modes of material nature, Sattva-guna, Raja-guna, and Tamo-guna. By Sattva-guna, the Lord maintains the material world. By Raja-guna, he creates it, and by Tamo-guna, he annihilates it. After the varieties of living entities are created, they are subject to happiness and distress according to their association. When they are in the Sattva-guna, the mode of goodness, they feel happiness. When in Raja-guna, they are distressed. And when in Tamo-guna, they have no sense of what to do or what is right or wrong. So Maharaj Chitraketu, he got down from his plane and he accepted the curse of Mother Parvati, and now he's speaking that whatever we do, actually it's ordained by the Lord. Whatever the curse or favor, it's only temporary, whatever it is. And everything is controlled by the Lord because he is the one who puts the living entities into different conditions of bondage or different modes of material nature. So everything is created by the Lord only. Without him, nothing can happen. Nothing can exist. Na tasya kashyadyaita pratipo na gyate bandhur na paro na chasvaha samasya sarvatra niranjanasya sukhena ragaha kuta eva roshaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is equally disposed toward all living entities. Therefore, no one is very dear to him and no one is a great enemy for him. No one is his friend and no one is his relative. Being unattached to the material world, he has no affection for so-called happiness or hatred or so-called distress. The two terms, happiness and distress, are relative. Since the Lord is always happy, for him there is no question of distress. And this is what also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dvesho asti na priya. I'm equal to all. I don't envy anybody and there is nobody dear to me. Of course, my devotees, they are in me and I'm in them. But in general, I'm equally disposed. I'm sama, I'm neutral to everybody. And actually, although he has created everything, but it's because of our desires we get stuck. we get the reaction. We do the karma because of our desires, and then we get the reactions, and then we are either happy or we cry, and that's all goes on. Tathapi tatshakti visarga esham sukhaye dukhaye hitaye andhaye mokshaya cha mrityu janmano sharirinam samsritaye avakalpate. Although the Supreme Lord is unattached to our happiness and distress, according to karma, and although no one is his enemy or favorite, he creates pious and impious activities through the agency of his material potency. Thus, for the continuation of the materialistic way of life, he creates happiness and distress, good fortune and bad, bondage and liberation, birth and death. So for this is there for the continuation of the materialistic way of life. If everything is same, like no birth, no death, no good fortune, no bad fortune, everything same, the materialistic way of life cannot go on. Our whole life is spent in trying to be happy and trying to avoid distress. That's all it is. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate doer of everything, in his original transcendental existence, he is not responsible for the happiness and distress, or bondage and liberation of the conditioned souls. These are due to the results of the fruitive activities of the living entities within this material world. By the order of a judge, one person is released from jail and another is imprisoned. But the judge is not responsible for the distress and happiness of these different people. For the Chetna Mataji, please mute yourself. But the judge is not responsible for the distress and happiness of these different people is due to their own activities. Although the government is ultimately the supreme authority, the justice is administered by the departments of the government, and the government is not responsible for the individual judgments. Therefore, the government is equal to all citizens. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is neutral to everyone. But for the maintenance of law and order, his supreme government has various departments which control the activities of the living entities. Another example given in this regard is that lilies open or close because of the sunshine, and the bumblebees thus enjoy or suffer. But the sunshine and sun globe are not responsible for the happiness and distress of the bumblebees. So it is said the lilies, when they open, the bumblebee goes inside and try to suck the pollen. But when the sunshine is not there, the lily flower closes, and many times. So who is responsible? Is the sunshine responsible for the death of that bumblebee? Or sun god is responsible? Lily is responsible? Lily didn't ask bumblebee to come inside and stay in there. So it's the bumblebee itself is responsible. So similarly, when we do something and the judge, example of a judge giving a sentence to a criminal to be put in the jail, judge is not responsible, police is not responsible, the lawyers are not responsible. I hope everybody is fair. Then nobody is responsible. The person who's criminal, he is responsible for his punishment. Similarly, the Supreme Lord, although he is the ultimate doer of everything, but he is not responsible for our actions and the reactions. Atha prasadena tvam shapam mokshaya bhamini Yanmanyase hiyasa dukkam mam tak shamyatam sati. Oh mother, you are now unnecessarily angry. But since all my happiness and distress are destined by my past activities, I do not plead to be excused or relieved from your curse. Although what I have said is not wrong, please let whatever you think is wrong be pardoned. Being fully aware of how the results of one's karma accrue by the laws of nature, Chitraketu did not want to be released from Parvati's curse. Nonetheless, he wanted to satisfy her because although his verdict was natural, she was displeased with him. As a matter of course, Maharaj Chitraketu begged pardon from Parvati. So he begged pardon, but he did not ask that the curse be removed. Shri Shukuvacha, iti prasadya girisho Chitraketur arindama jagam swa vimanena pashatos mayato astayo. Shri Shukdev Goswami continued, O King Parikshit, subduer of the enemy, after Chitraketu satisfied Lord Shiva and his wife Parvati, he boarded his airplane and left as a look down. When Lord Shiva and Parvati saw that Chitraketu, although informed of the curse, was unafraid, they smiled, being fully astonished by his behavior. So in the previous verse, when he asked for the pardon or for the mercy of Mother Parvati to be pardoned, so this is how a devotee should act. Although Maharaj Chitraketu, in his way, he did not commit any offense. Lord Shiva didn't take any offense. Chitraketu, he didn't have any malicious intent in his heart when he laughed at Lord Shiva, although he was trying to glorify Lord Shiva. And nobody else took an offense except Mother Parvati. And she ended up cursing him. But look at him. He did not curse her back. He did not justify himself. All he asked for, please forgive me. I'll take your curse on my head, but please forgive me for the offense. So this is the mode of a devotee, actually. He should be ready to ask for forgiveness. And he should ask for forgiveness, even if we think we haven't committed any offense. Because Lord Krishna is not pleased by our justification. He is pleased by our humility. So this is what the devotional characteristics or qualities is what attracts Krishna to a devotee. Anybody can try to justify himself. That's not what pleases him. And the whole purpose of life is to please Krishna, actually, nothing else. When we try to justify ourselves, we're trying to please ourselves or our ego. All we have to do is just beg for forgiveness and please Krishna. That's it. Text 26. Tatastu Bhagwana Rudro Rudranim idam abravit Devarshi Datta Siddhanam Parshadanam Shashranvatam. Thereafter, in the presence of great Sage Narad, the demons, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, and his personal associates, Lord Shiva, who's most powerful, spoke to his wife, Parvati, while they all listened. So many people, highly advanced people were there. Siddhas, sages, Narad Muni was there, demons were there. Demons are again, of course, they always fight with the demigods, but they are better than human beings in terms of their brain capacity or their powers. Shri Rudra Vacha Drishtavatyasi Sushroni Harer Adbhut Karmana Mahatmyam Bhritya Bhrityanam Nihisprihanam Mahatmanam. Lord Shiva said, my dear beautiful Parvati, have you seen the greatness of the Vaishnavas? Being servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, they are great souls and are not interested in any kind of material happiness. Lord Shiva, the husband of Parvati, told his wife, my dear Parvati, you are very beautiful in your bodily features. Certainly, you are glorious. But I do not think that you can compete with the beauty and glory of devotees who have become servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because these are the qualities of devotees that makes them more attractive to Krishna. Of course, Lord Shiva smiled when he joked with his wife in that way, for others cannot speak like that. The Supreme Lord, Shiva, continued. So here he is called the Supreme Lord. But he is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But since he has those qualities of the Lord, so sometimes he is referred to as Supreme Lord. Lord Shiva continued, is always the Supreme Lord. Okay, the Supreme Lord is always exalted in his activities. And here is another example of his wonderful influence upon history. Just see, although you curse a king, he was not respects to you, called you mother, and accepted your curse, thinking himself faulty. He did not say anything in retaliation. This is the excellence of a devotee. By mildly tolerating your curse, he has certainly excelled the glory of your beauty and your power to curse him. I can impartially judge that this devotee, Chitraketu, has defeated you and your excellence simply by becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. As stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tarorapi Sahishvana, just like a tree, a devotee can tolerate all kinds of curses and reversals in life. This is the excellence of a devotee. Indirectly, Lord Shiva forbade Parvati to commit the mistake of cursing a devotee like Chitraketu. He indicated that although she was powerful, the king, without showing any power, had excelled her power by his tolerance. So another wonderful words in Lord Shiva, this was his analysis, his observation, that by his power of humility and tolerance, Chitraketu, in fact, he excelled on the Parvati. Although Parvati is very beautiful, very dear to Lord Shiva, very dear to Lord Krishna also, but Chitraketu here in this incident. So actually it's the qualities of devotees that really make them attractive to Krishna and attractive to the whole world. For the like 6 Goswamis, when they were in Vrindavan, in Ishad Goswami Ashtakam, he said, Dhira and Adhira, they both were attracted to the 6 Goswamis. So Dhira means we can say friendly, and Adhira non-friendly, or demoniac or devotional people or divine people. Everybody was attracted to 6 Goswamis. Why? Because of their qualities. Because everybody understood they are our well-wishers. And they have nothing against us. All they do is try to serve the Supreme Lord. That's all. And they're these qualities that make them very dear to everybody. Dhira dhira jana priya priya karo. Nirmatsara pujito. And that's why Lord Shiva, basically he forbade Parvati to don't commit the mistake of cursing a devotee like Chitraketu. And next verse is very, very beautiful verse, and Prabhupada has quoted it many times. Lord Shiva is saying, Narayana parasarve na kutaschan vibhyati, swarga pavarga narakeshva apitulyartha darshina. Devotees solely engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, never fear any condition of life. For them, the heavenly planets, liberation, and the hellish planets are all the same. For such devotees are interested only in the service of the Lord. Parvati might naturally have inquired how devotees become so exalted. Therefore, this verse explains that they are Narayana Para, simply dependent on Narayan. They do not mind reverses in life because in the service of Narayan, they have learned to tolerate whatever hardships there may be. They do not care whether they are in heaven or in hell. They simply engage in the service of the Lord. This is their excellence. Anukulena Krishna Anushilana. They are liberally engaged in the service of the Lord, and therefore they're excellent. By using the word Bhritya Bhrityana, Lord Shiva pointed out that although Chitraketu provided one example of tolerance and excellence, all the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord are, as eternal servants, are glorious. They have no eagerness to be happy by being placed in the heavenly planets, becoming liberated, or becoming one with Brahman, the Supreme Effulgence. These benefits do not appeal to their minds. They're simply interested in giving direct service to the Lord. So the devotees, because they're Narayana Para, Narayana Para means protected by Lord Narayan. So their only business is to engage in the service of the Lord. Whether they're in heavenly planets, hellish planets, in Brahmjyoti, of course, devotees don't go to Brahmjyoti, but even if they happen to go there, they just want to serve. In Brahmjyoti, nothing is there except light, but they still can chant the holy name of the Lord. And they are completely protected, and the devotees are surrendered, so they have nothing to be afraid of. Na kutashan bidhyati. They're not afraid of anything. Of course, they're not here to offend anybody either. They're not here to be proud of anything. They're not afraid of anything because they are protected by the Supreme Lord. And this makes them really, really special. Very, very special. Just like next canto, we'll read about Prahlad Maharaj. 5-year-old boy. And his father, who had basically conquered the whole universe, terrified the demigods even. He was not even afraid of his father or the punishments the father was giving to him, Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu tried to get Prahlad Maharaj killed so many different ways. But two things, Prahlad Maharaj always had full faith in the Lord, and he was never afraid. And he never said anything against his father either. Never said anything to his father. He never retaliated. And he was never afraid. And this have made Hiranyakashipu more angry. But at the same time, if there was a devotee, he would have really loved this little devotee, Prahlad Maharaj. Little in the sense, age-wise. Otherwise, he was a great devotee. So these are the qualities. That's why they have taken shelter of Lord Narayan and they're never afraid. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this Vritasura is the same one, right, who was killed by Lord Indra?
Yes. So Maharaj Chitraketu becomes Vritrasura next life.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, brother. Okay, so you all have a very safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.